Welcome to Sister Circle, an attitude of excellence. I'm Deshauna, and today we're kicking off this podcast the way it should be with a real conversation amongst sisters. Together, we'll talk about what it means to pursue excellence in all areas of life. Today's focus is one we all know is powerful friendship. I am joined by my circle of sisters, Tiffany, Robin, Brittany, and Terry, who will be joining us remotely. Ladies, say hello.
Hello. My name is Tiffany. One thing about friendship that really means a lot to me is finding like-minded people that can support you and just help build my overall community.
Yep. My name is Brittany, and I would say one thing that's really important about friendship for me is being able to show up as my authentic self and be accepted for just who I am.
I like that, ladies. I'm Robin. What's important to me is having a life partner, somebody to take this journey of this thing called life with.
Okay, I got you.
All right, let's start here. Why does sisterhood matter to you, and why do you think women need other women in their lives?
Sisterhood matters to me because as women, we carry so much in our day-to-day responsibilities and as moms or even as friends, there's just so much that can be on us, but to have genuine people that are around us in that sense of community, it can sometimes feel like a huge relief. And I think that relief slash release a lot of times is what we need to maybe like change the trajectory of our days or just make us feel a little lighter, because sometimes life can just get really heavy, and having good friends and good sisters around does make things feel like the load is lightened up a little bit.
Absolutely. And I would say that, life's challenges, women really know women. Men can relate to certain things. However, what our bodies go through, what our mental goes through, women really know women. So for me, that's why it's really, really important.
Okay, girl. I also think God designed us for connection. So there's just some things that we're not designed to manage alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta have your sisters.
Yeah. So when you think about friendships that fill you up, what comes to mind? And on the flip side, what makes a friendship draining?
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh, that's such a good question. The biggest thing for me is support. I can't harp on that enough. Like you both said, you're not meant to do this alone. You have to have that support to go through all of the different changes and obstacles and just all the things that happen called life. So support would be the main thing. The thing that drains a friendship, I would definitely say codependency. That, and it's hard because you want to feel connected with someone, but you also don't want to depend on someone for all of those things. I think there's definitely times where people can feel that, but at the same time, not everybody has that capacity. So codependency would be my answer.
Yeah, I think for me, again, just kind of going back to being able to show up as my authentic self and being in spaces with friends where people actually love and accept you for who you are. Spaces where you don't have to feel performative. If you're not having so great of a day, like it can be that safe space where you have your people and your little community of sisters and friends to lean on. Also, I think for me too, it's important for me in my friendships to have very lighthearted moments, I guess I would say. Sometimes I feel like things can just like across the board, like whether it be from work life or in intimate relationships or what have you, things like can just feel a little heavy. And I feel like personally, I go to my friends for the laughter and the lightheartedness, and I kind of thrive from that. Things that make a friendship draining to me, I think is just I don't like a lot of negativity. I don't like spaces that don't feel genuine and real, and so that can and feel draining and toxic, especially if you're dealing with somebody. It's like you're constantly pouring into their cup, but they've always got something going on, and you feel like the friendship is one-sided because while you're constantly pouring into them, you don't feel as if you're benefiting, getting anything in return. So yeah, that can leave you feeling pretty drained.
Definitely understand that. So for me, thinking that one person to be your everything is so fulfilling because that person knows your in and outs, your outs and your ins. No matter how you do it, they know it. But taking this journey of life, I'm learning that it's okay to have different friends for different seasons and areas of your life.
Yeah.
I know for me, having somebody that fulfills different needs was new for me because for a long time I always felt it was so important to have that one friend that just did everything and fulfilled everything. And I almost did have that, but that person left and I went through a 2-year depression. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, and then I started having other friendships and I'm like, but that person can't fulfill everything. So it was hard, but I like where this space is. Finding different friends that fulfill different needs in friendship. I know that I've had a friend in the past that everything seemed like a competition. And that was draining to me because, to celebrate my wins is one thing, but no matter what I was speaking about or, I had conversations with this person, they always had to one-up my situation.
Yeah.
And so that was extremely, extremely draining to me. So.
Well, I would say it is so important to check on how you feel after you've been with a friend and assess, do you feel lighter, do you feel heavier? So, in one word, describe a life-giving friendship.
Ooh, in one word?
Yes.
Ooh. One word. Can y'all come back to me?
Okay, I will say invigorating.
Okay.
All right.
College word. Right. I would say trust. I think that's
Trust. Repeat the question.
One word, describe a life-giving friendship.
You ready yet?
I'm going to say fulfilling.
Okay.
I'm gonna say honoring because it is such an honor to have that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay. So you guys segued into my next point, and I would say I'll go first, just because kind of piggybacking on where you came from. So let's get practical. If excellence is about showing up with intention, how do we how do we show up for our friends consistently? And what does that look like for you? And I feel like I struggle with that a bit, but I also feel like having friends that have friends, plural, is relieving. Because when you are someone that you are just that person's only friend, you do feel like you have to be everything to that person. And I'm probably a terrible person to pick for your one friend. I'm going to just say that. But I think that that's the difference between happiness and joy. Because happiness relies on other people, joy comes from within. And I had to learn from myself, even when it comes to relationships, you cannot rely on the other person for your happiness. But when you have multiple friends, like you can't have multiple men, but you can have multiple friends, and that is, it keeps it light. Like how you said, like it's light, it's not heavy. To me, when my friends have multiple friends, I don't feel like I have to be everything to them, and they don't have to feel like they have to be everything to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of pressure.
Right. It takes the pressure off, especially when you're a mom, if you have a man, if you know, all of the things. To me, the one thing I can have multiple of, and it should just be easy, is friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know? So, I wanted to start with that. But yes, I'll throw that back to you guys. If excellence is about showing up with intention, how do we show up for our friends consistently, and what does that look like for you?
I guess I can go first. Showing up for my friends consistently. My life does get busy, right? And so, like Deshauna, I feel like I know that I need to work on this, but I try to be intentional. Like, if my friends, I'm not the person that's always gonna pick up the phone and talk to a friend every day, or maybe not even every week. But I try to show up when it matters. Like, if my friend is having an event, or if there's something going on in my friend's life, I try to be there. I try to make it in a simple text. Like, I definitely try to stay in contact via text message, like, hey, just checking in. You know, I love that my friends love and accept me for just being the way that I am, though. They know I'm kind of like that low maintenance friend, because the what I give is kind of how I expect, you know, to receive when it comes to my friendships too, because I personally, it would be overwhelming if my friends call me every single day. That's a lot. Because life be lifing. But yeah, I think just being intentional about the time that you can give, while also, you know, making sure that, you know, you kind of have like certain boundaries in friendships too, as well.
Absolutely.
Because again, calling me every day or needing something from me every day, or it's drama every day.
The draining friendship.
Correct.
Because nobody got time for that.
Right.
So to me, I would think even checking in with myself, because if I'm not good, how can I show up for you the best way possible? You know, I could really be just drowning, and here I am trying to pour from this empty cup to give you everything,
Yes,
and I'm struggling. You know, and it'll show up. It'll show up eventually. I've done it, and I felt so bad for it, and I think that's when I really realized, like, girl, you got to check in with you first.
Yeah.
And then, you know, make sure you're in the space and have the capacity to be able to do those things for people. So,
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think understanding and showing up accordingly to each individual friendship and relationship, because how I show up for you might be different than how I show up for you.
Yeah.
But me being my authentic self means I know my friends and my sisters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't come the same way you, that I'm going to come with you, and every situation is different. So me understanding that is so important.
Yeah.
And also making sure I'm there for my sisters and my friends in all the seasons, right? That's the good times, the bad times, the sad times, the happy times. So you just want to make sure, for me,
The
I
single
know
times, the
them
married
single
times.
times, because them single times be singling. Those married times, those baby times, I need to get out.
I got a man cave.
Preach. So
It's a
yes,
season for it all.
it's a season for it all. So absolutely, yes.
All right, so excellence in friendship, just to sum it up, sounds like it's about consistency, accountability, and boundaries.
Yes.
And sometimes it's also about knowing when to walk away. So, ladies, how do you know when it's time to release a friendship?
If you find that every time you connect with that individual, you leave the conversation feeling depleted, I think that's a good sign that it might be time to walk away.
Yes.
Also, I think we try to hold on to people and friendships when sometimes life happens and we move at different paces. And unfortunately, we do kind of outgrow, you know, people in certain seasons of our lives. And I think that's another thing to kind of check in on. It's not that it's a space where we have to disagree necessarily, but I do think it's important to check in. Like, we might not be moving on the same path anymore, or we might not have the same things in common anymore. I don't enjoy doing that anymore. I might have moved a little closer to God, and so maybe I don't want to be in those spaces, and it's all love, but I have to walk away from certain things because that just doesn't align with where I am in my life anymore. Love you, but I think it's important to prioritize self and friendships as well. Yeah,
absolutely. So I absolutely agree, ladies. I think we give people access to us too long sometimes, and I think we feel guilty when we choose to exit a friendship and so forth. And it's not wrong to feel guilty, but at the same time, it's just understanding that that person needs to understand, and it's not the you while I'm leaving, it's the me. It's the growth in me. So therefore, it's not saying that this relationship, friendship, whatever you may want to call that situation at the time, that it would never come back. It just means that in the season that I'm in, I'm choosing me, and this is the direction I'm going in. Unfortunately, at this time in our relationship, it's a solo dolo.
Yeah, I think when you start having to, I guess, be performative, you can't really be yourself, or you get that anxious feeling, or you get that dreary feeling of like whenever they call, or whenever, like, because you know it's going to be something, and it's exhausting, and you shouldn't feel like that in any relationship, especially not your friendships, your sisterhood. Like, those are supposed to be the easy stuff. But yeah, definitely that.
And I would say, I don't know that there's many friendships that I've ever truly released. Maybe a few. But for me, when I have released, it's because, you know, one, I believe that sometimes where God takes you, not everybody can go. And sometimes
very much so.
You have to understand that some people were there for a season. And that season has come to an end. If the friendship starts to look like, I am very big on encouraging my friends, supporting my friends, cheering for my friends loudly and quietly. When I'm in a situation where now my progress starts to foster your hate, that is not a friendship that I can hold on to. On the flip side, I think where sometimes we feel like our friendships may be seasonal, it is giving our friends grace and understanding that our friendships might look differently. So like, I have married friends, I have single friends, I have friends who have kids, I have friends who don't have kids. And I understand that when my friends move into phases, let's say they get into a relationship or they're married, we might not hang out the way we used to. We might not talk all the time the way we used to. I have friends who are, you know, having small babies and my kids are grown. Like, we... You know, like, I love you, and I'm still going to be that friend to you. Like, I'm still going to be there when you call. I'm still going to show up for you. I still consider you a friend. The friendship just looks different. And I think we have to sometimes be okay with the changes in how our friendships look. Without feeling like we're walking away from the friendship.
I agree.
That's good.
That's very true,
So, as Proverbs 27:17 reminds us, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So, ladies, how have you experienced iron sharpening iron in your friendships?
I'll go first. I feel like I always use you as an example. But in the most recent, like, again, going back to support, it is so very important. And even going on whatever journey, whether it's your spiritual journey, Deshauna has really pushed me in a good way to, you know, get back. To get back into church, and really working on continuing to build my relationship with God, and even supporting me in my hobbies. You know, like, that support means everything. Like, I moved here knowing nobody, and then to meet someone, and like, I feel like she barely knew me, but she was like, "Oh, she's a photographer. You should book with her." And I was like, "Well, honey, I just got here." But you know, a lot of times you need that push.
Yeah.
You know, you need or that nudge. Excuse me.
The
The
gentle nudge.
nudge, right? Because you know you may be in a place of being stagnant and not really knowing how to get out.
Yeah.
So, thank you for sharpening my iron.
I surround myself with people who make me better. I do. And I've been saying that since college. Like, I've looked at my friends, and it's so crazy because, like, in recent discussions with my friends, they kind of shared with me how they felt about me and how I impacted their lives. And I'm like, wow, because I always felt like you guys made all the difference in my life, actually. But we brought different things, different strengths, and we were able to like pull out, you know, different things from each other. But with my friends, I feel like they always encouraged me to just not have that like sense of stagnancy, like do and be better. Like, we want to make money, we want to be successful, like, yeah, we want to be those girls that get cute and go out for drinks and sushi, and we gonna be about our business. But that's just how, you know, my friendships have been since college. And I mean, that stuff is really empowering. I feel like a lot of times people are as good as their circle. Like, if you surround yourselves with people who don't want nothing or don't want to do anything, then it's likely that that's what you're gonna be okay with. But if you surround yourselves with people who are go-getters and, you know, prioritize life a different way, you'll find that you'll start moving that way too. And that's that iron sharpening iron. Like, we make each other better, and we keep each other on top of our game.
Absolutely. I agree. Motivating each other is so important because if I hear anybody's story, I might check back on you after you've talked about it a few weeks or a couple of days later or whatever else. Which direction you're moving in? Have you started that process yet? Keeping somebody accountable for what they say. They might be mad at you in the moment, but I promise you at the end of like, I thank you for that. And a lot of times, iron sharpening iron for me is not even about something like you said. It's not even about me realizing that that's me doing it. It's just something that comes out of me, and I think that's the God in me, because the person that I am, I always want to see somebody win. I always want to see somebody do better. And the circle that you keep, the people that you keep around you, you may not always have that, but hopefully God always will keep those people in your life and will keep you moving forward. And again, keep you motivated.
Yeah. And for me lately, it's been addressing self-talk.
Oh gosh.
Like, even with my friends, like when they say something, and being able to say, don't say that, say this. Because sometimes we self-talk in a way and we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So like, even, you know, Terry will join us virtually, but Terry said today, she said, I have cancer. And I said, you don't have that. We're not owning that, and we're not claiming that. You're fighting that. You're battling that. You're dealing with that. That, you know, that is something that you are experiencing, but we're not going to claim having that. And she's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And so, but sometimes having friends that are able to like pull you out of certain spaces, and she didn't even really think about it when she said it. But when she said it, I immediately was like, we're not claiming that.
That's right.
Not in that way.
Shutting it down.
Right. And so, you know, and I know you and I have had similar conversations about self-talk. And so for me, I think sometimes when we're sharpening each other, it's just like being able to like something as simple as saying, you know, we're not claiming that. But
really
this
good.
is what God intended for us. Friendships that sharpen, not dull, and the ones that fill and not drain.
That's good.
So, that being said, here's our call to excellence for this focus. Reach out to one sister in your circle, and we all have our own circles in addition to the four of us here. Affirm her, thank her, or simply just let her know that you see her. And we know that's a challenge for me because, like Brittany, I'm not usually the one that's like. Now I will call and say, "What you doing? You want to go do this or go do that?" But like, just like, awesome. Hey girl, I just want you to know that you're beautiful. Like, what was that TikTok meme where the guys were calling guys saying
They were telling
good night?
good night.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I wonder how our friends will react if we just out the blue, especially me
Yeah.
and Brittany who don't normally
Right.
do that. They're like, hey, I was
I
just
just
calling
want to say
say-
you're pretty.
Yeah.
You are so beautiful and I love you.
Yes. So that is a challenge for us all.
Yes.
Um,
Be intentional.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sisters, thank you for joining us for episode 1 of Sister Circle and Attitude of Excellence. If today's conversation blessed you, share it with a friend who needs encouragement. Subscribe, leave a review, and most importantly, take that step of excellence by affirming a sister. Remember, excellence isn't about perfection. It's about showing up with intention, grace, and love. Until next time, keep sharpening and keep shining.
Yay! I was gonna say, quack it.
All right.
Not quack it.